Golden FM 97.5.
Good morning and thank you for joining us on the Golden FM's national and world news. In the headlines, President Tinubu constitutes committee for former President Buhari's funeral. Federal government declares today as public holiday to honor former president. Rivers judiciary denies court injunction against sole administrator. Governor Diri blames Nigeria's stunted development on poor implementation of research findings. On the foreign scene, President Trump gives Russia 50 days deadline to resolve Ukraine war. Details coming up shortly.
Shining brighter than ever. 97.5 FM, the gold standard of radio.
Many thanks once again for joining us on the Golden FM's National World News. I am Moye Stephen. Now the details. President Bola Tinubu has approved the formation of an inter-ministerial committee to oversee the planning and coordination of a state funeral for the late former President Muhammadu Buhari. The committee, to be chaired by Senator George Akume, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, is tasked with delivering a befitting burial ceremony for the former president. According to a statement signed by Mr. Ikiemoye, the Director of Information and Public Relations, the committee includes several key ministers and top security officials. He noted that the President has directed all ministries, departments, and agencies to open condolence registers at the entrance of their offices for members of the public to pay their last respects. Mr. Moye added that a central condolence register will be available at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the President Bola Tinubu Ahmed International Conference Center in Abuja to enable the diplomatic community and general public to express their sympathies. The federal government has announced the postponement of the Special Federal Executive Council session earlier scheduled for today in honor of the late former President Muhammadu Buhari. The session was put on hold due to the state funeral for the former leader, which will take place today in his hometown, Daura, Katsina State. According to a statement issued on Monday by Mr. Moye Iniamagha, the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, a new date for the special FEC session will be announced by the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation after the funeral rites. Meanwhile, the federal government has declared today as public holiday to honor the late former President Muhammadu Buhari. This was announced by Honorable Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, the Minister of Interior, on Monday. He said President Bola Tinubu approved the holiday to recognize former President Buhari's service, democratic contributions, and legacy, and urged citizens to honor his memory by promoting peace, unity, and patriotism. The Nigeria police force has cracked down 2 major human trafficking networks in coordinated operations across Enugu, Anambra, and Ondo states, rescuing several victims and arresting 11 suspects. Acting on reliable intelligence, officers from Zone 13 Command uncovered a baby factory operation in the southeast, leading to the arrest of 8 suspects who confessed to involvement in child trafficking, illegal adoptions, and operating unlicensed clinics used as baby factories. Among the victims rescued were a 7-month-old baby, a 4-year-old child, and 2 pregnant women from Ebonyi State who were allegedly held captive to give birth for the sale of their babies. In a separate case in Ondo State, police rescued one Mr. David Agerinya, a Ghanaian man who was trafficked into Nigeria under false promises. The rescue followed a request from Interpol, which triggered a search that led to the arrest of 3 suspects. A statement by Mr. Olumuyiwa Adejobi, the police spokesperson, said Mr. Kayode Egbetukun, the Inspector General of Police, reaffirmed the force's commitment to ending human trafficking in all forms and urged Nigerians to report any suspicious activity. Chief Nyesom Wike, the Minister of FCT, has warned Governor Monday Okpebholo of Edo State against embarking on a probe of Mr. Godwin Obaseki, his predecessor. Governor Okwebele had last Friday during a victory parade after his victory at the Supreme Court held at the Government House, Benin City. The state capital said that his administration would set up a commission of inquiry to look into former Governor Obaseki's records. Speaking in Benin City, Chief Wike said that probing Mr. Obaseki would yield no meaningful results and could distract the governor from the tasks of governance. He urged the governor to focus on the development of the state instead of probing Mr. Godwin Obaseki. The River State Judiciary has denied reports that Justice Frank Onyiri of the State High Court issued an injunction stopping Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas, the sole administrator, from inaugurating members of the River State Service Commission. In a statement issued by Barrister Menemen Poromon, the Deputy Chief Registrar, the Judiciary, described the report as false, malicious, and lacking any truth. The statement said no such order was given by Justice Onyiri or any other judge of the High Court of River State. He urged the public to disregard the information and to confirm any such reports directly from the office of the Chief Registrar, High Court of River State. Earlier on Monday, the River State sole administrator sworn in the chairman and members of the River State Independent Electoral Commission, RISA. Now you're listening to the Golden Sunrise National at World News on 97.5 Golden FM Yenagua. Still to come, more news. Please stay tuned.
Shining brighter than ever. 97.5 FM, the gold standard of radio.
Yo, listen up.
Pure gold, pure vibes. 97.5 Golden FM, the gold standard of radio.
Welcome back. You're still listening to the Golden Sunrise National and World News on 97.5 Golden FM. And now for the rest of the bulletin. Governor Doye Diri has identified poor implementation of research findings by government and other relevant public institutions as part of critical factors responsible for the lack of sustainable development in the country. Governor Diri did this on Monday when he received a delegation of Senior Executive Course 47 from the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPSS, Kuru Jos, during a courtesy call in Government House, Yenagoa. The Bayelsa Chief Executive, who spoke through Senator Lawrence Arujeko, the Deputy Governor, pointed out that the NIPSS study teams had over the years diligently carried out strategic studies on different themes, noting that if such critical research findings had been implemented, the country would have made significant progress. He condemned the practice whereby Nigeria invests resources in the funding of research by various institutions, yet fails to deploy useful research findings and reports from the nation's development, which, according to him, had become the bane of Nigeria's progress on all frontiers. Describing the theme adopted for the NIPSS study tour as very relevant to the state, Governor Diri emphasized that Bayelsa was the epicenter of the trillion-dollar potential marine and blue economy in terms of its strategic location and vast marine resources. He assured that NIPSS team of the state government's close collaboration and cooperation throughout their stay in the state to ensure substantial achievement of the study objectives. Earlier in his remarks, AVM Mohammed Manu Omar, the leader of Viston Senior Executive Course 47 delegation to the state, said Bayelsa was chosen as one of the coastal states for the study in view of its marine endowments. Mr. Omar, who thanked the state governor for the warm welcome accorded the team, pointed out that the theme of the research, blue economy and sustainable development, issues, challenges and opportunities was carefully chosen to add to knowledge. He expressed the confidence that at the end of the study tour, the team would have gathered all necessary information for a comprehensive report that would not only help in building the new Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, but also facilitate proper harnessing of marine resources in the country. Being the first official assignment of the state governor following the passing of former President Muhammadu Buhari, a moment of silence was observed at a meeting in which Senator Arujeko, the deputy governor, prayed for the peaceful repose of the departed Nigerian leader. The Bayelsa state government has announced the immediate termination of all illegal appointments made by His Royal Highness Chief Kenneth Ngo Opukeme, the paramount ruler of Opuama clan in the southern Ijaw local government area. It also directed the stoppage of all payments of royalties due Opuama through Chief Opukeme's personal bank account, describing what the paramount ruler was doing as a gross violation of the constitution of the community. Senator Lawrence Ojabo, the deputy governor who gave the directive at the meeting with the paramount ruler and other stakeholders of Opuama in his office at the weekend, cautioned traditional rulers to abide by the provisions of the constitutions of their respective communities. He directed Honorable Moses Marlon, the member representing Southern Ijaw Constituency 3 in the State House of Assembly, Comrade Gowan Toroyoye, his Deputy Chief of Staff, Dr. Daniel Igali, the Commissioner for Sports, and Mr. Target Segibo, the Chairman of Southern Ijaw Local Government Area, to ensure the opening of a bank account for the Opuama Kingdom this week. Similarly, all the federating communities in the Opuama have equally been directed to open their official community bank accounts into which all community funds are to be paid in and dispersed accordingly to promote transparency and accountability. Senator Ojabo decried the high-handedness of the Opuama paramount ruler for making appointments outside the constitutional provisions of the community and other infractions, despite earlier warnings. The deputy governor maintained that the present administration would not hesitate to deal decisively with any irresponsible traditional ruler, urging those who are diverting community funds into their personal bank accounts to desist from the act forthwith. In their separate remarks, Honorable Moses Marlon, the member representing Southern Ijaw Constituency 3, and Dr. Daniel Igali, the Commissioner for Sports, thanked the deputy governor for convening the meeting and expressed the belief that the directives would bring about peace, cohesion in the kingdom. Now moving on to the foreign scene, the United States has agreed to provide Ukraine with a new tranche of desperately needed weapons via a deal. In a joint White House announcement with NATO, the U.S. president expressed his growing frustration with President Putin and his refusal to agree a peace deal despite multiple conversations. President Trump has also given President Putin a 50-day deadline to make a deal or risk economic penalties, including 100% tariffs and secondary sanctions on purchases of Russian oil. That's the Golden Sunrise National and World News from 97.5 Golden FM Yanagwa. But before we go, here's a recap of our major stories. President Bola Tinubu has constituted a committee for former President Muhammadu Buhari's funeral. Federal government has declared today as a public holiday to honor the former president. Rivers Judiciary has denied the court's injunction against the sole administrator. Governor Oyedere has blamed Nigeria's stunted development on poor implementation of research findings. On the foreign scene, President Trump has given Russia 50 days as deadline to resolve Ukraine war. That was the Sunrise News. For news stories, comments, and observations, please send us an email at buildingfmyanagwa@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, and TikTok on 97.5 Building FM Yanagwa. The news was edited by Judith Enake, and I am Moye Stephen. Good morning, and thanks for listening.
Golden FM 97.5.